This is a video for Roger, Lauren and Beck. Well guys, I'm glad to report we had a lot more of a successful weekend here at the Virginia horse trials than we did at Kentucky a couple of weeks ago. Donald was magnificent in all three phases. Obviously it was very disappointing with my little tumble that we had in the 3-star short at Kentucky, and got him home, and I cross-country schooled him a couple of times, and in a training schooled there. We had trouble at a coffin last time, and we schooled that coffin over and over and over again, and Donald was raring to go when we got down to Virginia. We arrived on Thursday, and he did a lovely test. I think we finished second after the dressage. He was the very first horse on. It was very early Friday morning at this dressage test, and Donald's just sensational on the flat. He really put in a nice smooth test. At this intermediate level, he's very seasoned and experienced. So I was very pleased with him. Obviously this weekend was more about making sure that mishap that happened at Kentucky definitely didn't happen again, and he was brilliant. We've got a little bit of the cross country, and after our training at home he was running for the fences, so I was very pleased with him. It was a real surprise actually, our tumble at Kentucky. He'd been training so well, and looking back on it, I think I was a little bit complacent and taking it for granted a bit, so maybe it was a good kick in the pants for me. Obviously Donald's a very talented horse, and he's a superstar in the making, but he's a bit quirky. He's a bit of an odd horse, so I can't ever forget that. Between the Kentucky event and Virginia, we had 2 weeks, and I didn't even show jumping once, and didn't matter too much. He came out, he's such a good jumper, he show jumped just perfect. So our original plan was to go to the 4-star short at Tryon, which is next week, but I was sort of glad, we're still sort of returning back to his peak after his sort of vacation that he had from the minor injury that he got last year, and I have to say his soundness has been very good. Kevin, our vet's been monitoring his legs closely, and I think we're in good shape health-wise. So it's more a fact of just getting him strong and fit and back to where he was before he got hurt last year. So what my plan is, I think, is I didn't go crazy fast at this event, but I sort of moved him along and pushed him along in the cross country, and it was a longer course. It was a 7-minute course, and it had a long uphill. So I think I'll give him a short break, a short vacation now. I don't want to give him too much time off, because I think he'll blow up in weight, and we're finally got him trimmed up a bit, looking healthy. So I think I'll give him 2 or 3 weeks rest, just to let him rejuvenate and freshen up a bit. I've sort of been after him a bit in his training and pushing him, and I think he needs, if nothing else, just mentally a little bit of a rest. So we'll give him a couple of easy weeks, and then bring him back in and get raring to go for next season. I think he's absolutely ready for advance now, and back to 4-star. So I think my plan would be to maybe do 1 intermediate early next year when we get down to Aiken, and then back to advanced and 4-star. And I think next year is going to be a good year for Donald. My plan is to do a couple 4-star shorts, and then hopefully get him to 2 4-star longs next year, which would be we're pretty much at the top of the sport. We're at the very top part of the sport, and you never know, having him 4-star long ready next year and the Olympic Games the following year, the timing could be perfect if all the stars align. So like I said before, we hadn't done any show jumping training in about 2 or 3 weeks, and Donald is just a magnificent jumper, and he came in and jumped just a beautiful round. You can see him is about 2 foot over the standards here. So I think after the show jumping we moved up to the lead, and unfortunately for me, Olivia Dutton, Philip's daughter, had one of Philip's 5-star horses called Sea of Clouds in the class, and she won the class. She went flying around the cross country and went quite fast, and actually overtook us in the standings. But we finished second, which is it's a good finish to the year. Most importantly, he felt good in all the phases. He felt brilliant in the dressage. Obviously, as you can see here, the show jumping was awesome, and most importantly, this cross country was brilliant. He was looking for his fences. He was bold and brave. The ground was good, so I sort of opened him up a little bit. I think we had 6 time penalties, but he's plenty fast enough. He's got a good gallop, and if I can keep his mind on the job, he's a top horse. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys are doing well over there in California. Thanks for being patient with Donald this year. I know it's been a little bit of a long wait to get him back in action, but I feel like we're back in business now and raring to go.